people that I train with, there are more women, and I have a certain group of peers that I train with and we support each other. And I was just wondering if it's the case for you as well. Do you have women peers, women in particular? I mean, our role models don't have to be, personally, I think that our role models don't have to be someone of a higher level. It can be a peer, it can be a friend that you train with every time, push you to be better in training and the hobby. I was wondering if, especially targeting the ones who have more experience, if you still have these women in your life, in general, like as a peer who supports you still and still training capoeira?
Two people picking with specials? How we going?
Ale, I think you just need to find a balance. You know, you cannot also the same way you have to think yourself. You have to respect yourself, and you shouldn't compare yourself to anything. You are the best you can be, and yeah, you need to dedicate. And I think you're not gonna be better than anyone. You just have to be the best you can be. So that in that way, your teacher will push you to the best you can be. And we know that, you know, Peride and all the teachers, they really go and understand your outside life to make sure you are right in that sport. So I think it's a 50-50. You just need to, you cannot just ask too much about yourself, because that doesn't, the fun just goes away. So you just need to do what you can do. If you're passionate about something, you're normally going to go and do it.
I'll talk a little bit on Ali's question. There's a really interesting tendency for any help from male figures to be given a higher weighting than there is to help from female figures. And we see that consistently across research and careers, and in capoeira as well. A man's done a good thing, give him a cookie, is you quite often see on the internet. It's a difficult space because I want to reward my male colleagues for their work, because they're actually giving up privilege. And that giving up of privilege is fundamental to dismantling privilege. And that's hard work. When you've been in a position where you're at the top of the ladder, climbing down that ladder a bit and giving some of that power away is really difficult. So I really do want to give those that kudos to my male capoeiristas and my teachers who supported me. But you are also right. 80% of that was me. 80% of that was all of us feeling like we could, but because we had allies. So this weighting that we give to our allies is really important for us, but maybe not as important for them to see. Like they know that they're doing this, and they know that they're doing the right thing. So that change is happening for them, and at the same time that change is happening for me internally to be able to realise that I'm actually doing the work maybe. And that was an awesome question. Thank you.
Yeah, so I didn't explicitly go and train anything for capoeira, but I have trained a lot of other things that have contributed to my capoeira. Like, if you guys have seen my Instagram, you know I do a lot of Kali as well, and that's a lot of cadena de mano, chaining of hands. And the speed of reaction that came from that means that, like, the palm, jogo de palma in capoeira, like, my ability to see and be okay with that in the game, like, exponentially was higher. As someone who was small, when I first started, if you put anything near my face, and most people like this, as a human, is like, oh no. So, like, that came out of it, definitely. And then just, like, also, I do circus sometimes, the strength training that comes from doing other things. If you're always only doing the same movements in capoeira, you build very specific strength. So it's good to train other things to help build, like, strength in other places. Yeah, that's my
We have a question from Deia in terms of views. I might
comment on that last one. I think you raise a very important point, because it's not, you don't have to be inspired by people, you know, that are really high up there. Because really you should be inspired by all the people that you train with every day. Because everybody does something really quite amazing and unique. So I do think that, yes, we do get inspired by normal training partners and everybody here in our Brisbane community, really. I think so. I think that is the case. Even though I agree with you, the female role models, like the really high up ones, we have less. But that was amazing, Pensadora, that you brought over for your event. that was quite incredible. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Okay.
Just answering Via's questions, yeah? I had a really good friend when I started. I got my and she was older than me and she got me in a lot of trouble, but she was amazing. And unfortunately, everyone that I was training in that moment and along the way these days did not train me anymore. I was the only teacher my master has, female teacher. And also I was pregnant when I got my teacher graduation, and I remember like, no, I was surprised. I was back in Brazil. Like, no, I don't want it today. No, please. I'm dreaming about this day, like having my teacher graduation, when I would like play in the hall and be like kick ass or get kicked or whatever. But I was pregnant. I was like, I can't do that today. We're not graduating you for you are today, but what you have become. And he's like, I want to do this before I die anyway, so let's do it. I was the only teacher, unfortunately, that the women that stick around in that, but the ones that I had inspire me a lot. And I think it's really good to have a woman to train with.
Okay, we'll go Cacatau remix and Justin. Okay.
Thank you for the speech. It is really important about equality. Thanks for the speech. This is really helpful, and I think that's really important with capoeira and in everything. As Paula said, and I heard Potiguara saying the same. When you first start capoeira, your parents didn't want that you progress in capoeira. This happened with Potiguara as well. And then I saw your graph about teachers being women and men. That this can be a reason, because in like 20 years ago, the parents like, nah, capoeira is not for you, capoeira is just for men. But I think that the mind has changed now, and then as we see more girls and men, I think that the future will have the equality of teachers. I think that just in the past was not well seen for parents, but I think that this change, and then maybe in the future we'll have this. Congrats for all the women.
Look, I was assistant to deserve that because this conversation because the outcomes from my time is witness. When we trained capoeira in Brasília in 70s, 80s, was only one woman, Edna, one. Edna, she now in America, she come here because she from about the capoeira, and I talk about that. Was one. But Edna, because she was such an up and taekwondo, karate, capoeira, that was only Edna.
Quantas tinha mesmo? Ficou de quantas?
1978, Guará de Brasília in 1978, Itabos, because was the first school I went to for visit. I visited Beribazu, all the school capoeiras in Brasília, because how I don't adapt to any school how I want, because in the time the capoeira was more representative vital. E de Tabosa no abri, o estudo antigo da street, Zulu no live, treino capoeira, o de risadinha, como de ouro, organizado de school. From free capoeira. But anyone store in Brasília was anyone, only Edna. Now I can feel here so proud, so everyone plays so well, like me, like it's so good feeling. How capoeira is.
Thank you, guys.
First of all, thank you so much for the brilliant inputs today. Since we're talking about equality
Just speak up.
So since we're talking about equality and equity, probably something else would come to place, and I would like to ask about chivalry and at the same time respect. When we say, like since time immemorial, men have always think, or like not just men, probably some other women as well, would think that women would have is a weaker gender. Now when we say equality and equity, should men probably lessen their strength to play with us to call it equality and equity? Or should they play the same way as they play with men for it to be considered equality and equity? So it's a very gray area.
Two?
Put it on hold. Two minutes countdown.
Well, just listen up. Just speak up, please.
So my question is, so I'm from South Australia, where capoeira is very small. I was wondering, as a man, how I could encourage women, or even any age, to try capoeira, or what would still be appealing to them, and also if that's a bit too hard, then maybe what do you think are the challenges to try and recruit more women to do capoeira?
Alright, so I think I'll just comment on this last one. I think the challenge for recruitment, we don't have a challenge so much. I think attraction is, the way capoeira presents itself with all its richness and the cultural and physical aspect, I think it attracts them. But it's once people are here that there's something that maybe lacks, or it's that lack of encouragement, or it's lack of breaking up those fears that they have more so. That's my thinking on that.
Would like to go for either this question or then let's end the game. We're playing. Go for about recruiting women.
I got an opinion. I'm gonna go backwards. So, awesome question. What you can do is be an ally, and that's very, very simple. I'll step back. One of the wonderful things about capoeira is that we teach by showing and we learn by doing. We don't do a lot of talking except for bate-papo like this. So what you can do is be inclusive. So when you're in the hada and you look around and you go, but that person can't see because they're a very short woman and there's lots of tall men in front of them, step back, give up some of your privilege, tell them to walk to the front. When you're about to play in the hada, look around and see if there's women who haven't played, who are of a similar skill level or who need that. Invite them to play. So make the invitation as a person who's already in that culture or that group, make the invitation and make it clear that the invitation is open for them and you support them in it. For me, that was the biggest thing, for people to say, oh, you should go in the hada now and have a game, you'll have fun playing with them. Or, I really like the way you play the berimbau, you can go in the bataria. Or even just someone to go, oh, can you see? Oh, I'll sit down a little bit. Not that I'm against tall people are awesome. But that's that acknowledgement of diversity, really, that's proper equity, Oh, you can't see, let's make sure everyone can see. Not everyone can sing this low, let's sing a little bit higher. Funny little stuff that you don't think about until you're in that position. And I'm going to talk really briefly about chivalry. So chivalry is manners. And one of the nice things about capoeira for me is that a beginner can play with a master and it can still be a great game. And that's because there's so many elements in there that we're talking about today with Mexe Focal. There's trickery and there's malandragem, as well as technical and strength components. So we change our games for our opponent. We are responsible, like Mr. Shino is saying, for the other person in the hada. So I don't think anyone should change their game to make less of the person they're playing with, but you should match the skills and qualities of the person you're playing, because then it's going to be more fun. I love the games where masters get like rasteira, headbutts off the beginners, and the beginners are like, oh shit. And it begins this really nice dialogue, so that's my opinion. Other people I know, and consistent with grading schools, will be slightly different. And that's because that's a teaching methodology and that's appropriate. But for two people in the hada, play appropriately to the person you're talking with. If you're learning a language, you're not going to speak in the longest words you know with someone who's just learning it, but you can still have a great discussion.
How do I attract two women? I have the same problem in it's not a problem at all, actually. I have only women in my class. I don't know, because I'm a woman or... I just think you just need to keep putting out there. If you have one woman student, get her to talk about it, get her to do a demonstration, whatever you are, and just put out there that they will come. I think there's an element of fear, and that's for some that move. I really like that sense of danger. No, I don't think they should be less. They should respect everyone that's in the roda. They should be respectful if there's anyone younger, if there's a child, if there's someone with disability. The good capoeirista will respect the comrade. So I think that is the main thing. And you know by your experience with time who you should play with and who should you not play with. And you should watch that person before playing too. And don't be afraid of getting a roda where there's quebra-jereba. You gotta go. Otherwise, that's the only way you're gonna, overcome that fear. And if you get down, you're gonna be down, and you're gonna get up again, and you're gonna go again. And that's how you're gonna learn. So put yourself out there, and yeah, kick ass.
I believe we could have a few more questions, but I'd like to open up to the teachers. Some of them have commented as well, but it would be great if you'd like to comment anything. Mostrando Pererê, mais Falcão, Professor Pezão, Professor Orilson.
So with my students in Perth, we've got a pretty much balanced males and females, and one of my highest students, Franja Maria, she's the yellow blue, and she's one of three yellow blues, the other two.
So, sir, do you want to explain to us what that belt means?
So Monitora would be one underneath. So there's Instructora, and so there's blue, which is my chord, and yellow blue is one underneath. So they're relatively high. And Franja Maria, she's always had lots of doubts in herself, and she's always mentioned to me that she's found it hard as a woman because there's no references when it comes to having women. However, in my practice, I've made it, if we make it so that if it stems from the leadership, with Franja Maria Bigon in my core, they're my three yellow blues. I've got three more that came up now, who happen to actually be three women. They also got yellow blue. I go as hard on those three as I do everyone else. So in terms of chivalry, yes, there's still chivalry in general as humans. We're not going to go and kick someone in the face, because then that's something that's just not a good thing to do in general as a human. But I think if it comes from us as leaders, and if we incentivize our students to be the best human, to be the best capoeirista, not to be the best woman, not to be the best man, I think then you create an environment where everyone will want to challenge each other and everyone will want to grow together. So then I feel, and I could be wrong, and I hope that I've built this up in where we are, that equality and equity is not even an issue. Everyone plays beriba. Everyone goes in the holiday the same. I tell my students, come take me down. Everyone does hasterone, everyone does cabeçada. Just because I'm high court, it doesn't matter. So I feel that the way I'd like to think, the way that I've built up the group is that equity and equality hasn't even come up because of the way we play. And now that my students are starting to sort of go out and they're starting to see, that is an issue in certain places, that's when they're starting to come to me, how should behavior be?
Lovely, thank you. Anyone else from the teachers? I'll just give them the opportunity. Anyone else like to comment? Professor Pezão?
Congratulations I'll just do a quick comment and then make a question, because I'm loving the discussion and I want to learn from your experience in a very specific point. But just a comment, remember that when you say man and woman, we keep the separation rule. We use. We should be looking after each other. It doesn't matter if it's a man or if it's a woman. Yeah. If it's a teacher, we should support him. If it's a teacher, woman, we should support her anyway. Because when we emphasize the difference keeps going. And what I'd like to ask for girls is, what made you decide to progress and to teach? Because, your master or your teacher can give you a belt and say, okay, you're a professor now. But if you don't step down in the class to teach, if you don't take the choice of being there, opening the classes, but sometimes nobody comes, and you come back the next week or the next day to keep the class open. So what did you keep going?
So my father and my mother are teachers. That's like what I grew up with. They were going through uni when I was a child, and they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I was like, I'm going to be someone who teaches teachers how to teach. I didn't end up doing that. That's what they ended up doing. But so I grew up around people talking about pedagogy and curriculum and how you teach people. And so when I was finishing high school, I was like, what am I going to do? I had no idea. I went to uni for science. That was terrible. So I went to uni for music, and I loved it. And what I want to do, and I still want to do, is I teach music as my job. And I love just that feeling of seeing a student become proficient in what they do. And whether that's because of you or because of how they practice, it doesn't really matter, I think. But I absolutely love teaching. And so even when I first started capoeira, I would go home after the workshops and I'd write down all the things I learned, or after the classes, and I'd record, and I'd think, oh, okay, so they taught it like this. That's really cool. All right, so why were they teaching it like that? How did the student respond to that? Why did they teach it a different way for a different person? Again, and that comes back again to the kind of, you treat everyone as their own individual person, and you should teach appropriately for everyone. So I guess for me it was a passion of that, and that's why when I was becoming a graduate, I said to Mestre Borracha, I said, I want to run a women's class. And he was like, okay, why? And I was like, well, for these reasons, because I think we should encourage more people to do it, and because I want to learn how to teach capoeira. And he gave me the okay, and we went ahead with it. That's my story.
I mean, I guess, coming back to your question, why we want to teach, I guess it's like everything. We want to make this art better, and everybody has a different view when they teach their class, and so it's just contributing to that, I think, and making everybody better. And you become better if you teach, because you really have to think about all the different techniques and all the aspects of it, so I think that's what drives us, I'm assuming.
I just need to redeem myself here. I feel really bad because I thought I just have women students, but I know I have one man, and he's here today, and he's there, and he's
He's her boyfriend. He's her.
Yes.
there's a lot of women here tonight, guys. The Friday hard, you come to the point. We're trying to give equality there as well. Girls don't hurt, they harder. Ladies, they bow to sing. This is what we created for all of us. So start to be there 176.
That's it. Thank you. So I think my view here, the fact of this, perhaps the key message for the women here who may have some doubts or some questions is people don't see us as different, perhaps. Maybe we see us different or we doubt ourselves and we think we may not belong. Because I totally agree, and that speaking always says to me, we shouldn't be talking about gender. If everybody just comes from the standpoint that we respect each other as human beings, that's it. Come and do your part and people will respect you. And I think that's sort of an underlying thing that came up here. You know, they found that men were there, they actually supported them. But they made the decision, okay, I want to do this, therefore, and that was the same message that came from Paula too. But I'm going to dedicate myself. I'm going to do my bit too and don't feel a victim. Feel like, you know, you got to, what's the expression in English? You go and grab it by the... Yeah. And, you know, just go for it. So perhaps that's where we got at the end of the day, but obviously there's no questions to all the big, there's no answers to all the big questions, but hopefully this got us to think a little bit. Thank you everybody for your comments.